And I think, you know, there's one way to look at maybe they should try to draft again towards the globals and avoid team fighting as much as possible. They're going to take map pick again. And we are going to Infernal Shrines. So 2 back-to-back map picks from losing team. Pretty unusual scenario here. Well, Alex Strauss are going to be a highly contested hero pick here. And otherwise, I mean, I think Urel is still very strong here. In my experiences on this map, you can steal a lot of defenders with Urel, especially if you have a good support. You can knock the defenders into your side with your hammer, and then you can use your fully charged Q to finish them off. So Alex Strauss draws first ban on this map.
It had to be one of the tools that Miracle was thinking. May just be the Maiev once again. Didn't really work out in game 1, but Infernal Shrines. If you want to switch gears, focus your team comp a little bit towards that shrine fight.
Okay, global.
So far, global. I do like these 2 picks, and really not really revealing Maiev early on. I think that's the way to go right now in Korea.
Yeah, she functions a lot like an Illidan pick. That, where it's like you scream, please counter me if you draft early. And, you know, we live in a meta now where Maiev is not perma-banned anymore after some of the changes to her abilities and talents. Like, she's no longer S tier, she's like A tier. But she needs a good comp to synergize with, otherwise, you know, it doesn't work out too well.
Yeah, that's also why Malfurion first pick actually had around 20% win rate before today. That's because if you see Malfurion against all the bursts, see lots of Jaina, Li Ming, along with Sonya, and it would actually break through all the amount of healing. That's why the win rate was so low. You could actually see intelligent counter picks.
Well, there's signs of ETC. We're talking about it a lot as we open today's match. And with no tank priority on the side of Miracle this game, he does grab it early with the Phoenix, which is always a favored pick right now from the top teams in Korea. The lower teams not running as much Phoenix. So ban-wise here for Miracle, you're looking at a solo laner more than anything else. If you want to try to win the matchup, you could ban the Dahaka. Try to remove a global because you've already got the false stat on your side to control the global side of things. The Urel ban is also not a bad choice.
Yes, I think that's a more likely one, as Tempest did show that kind of team comp before. Not on this map, but oftentimes with the ETC pair up with Phoenix and Malfurion together, so it is actually the perfect 4 that they often played.
10 seconds to go. What's it gonna be?
I think odd will be on off DPS, maybe like something like an Hanzo.
Okay, great main.
Okay, so they want to remove the camp timing as well because they have their Sonya.
That's a really good point.
Because Phoenix actually not too bad with the camp, but with Greyman it was going to be faster than what they have.
Yeah, that's true, and they already know that obviously Rhaegar is off the cards for Tempest if they pick Malfurion. So
exactly.
Those are some of your best camp clears. It's a really good point you bring up. It's like, if you don't mention that point, I feel like the Greymane ban feels a little bit odd here. It feels out of place, but when you say it like that, you know, there's a lot of good reasoning here. Also, Cursed Bullet, depending on what support Miracle ends up bringing out here, it can be quite great. They banned the Anubarak, and that's mostly, I think, so that ETC has a little bit more flexibility.
Cho'Gao!
Okay.
Oh my goodness, we finally do have a Cho'Gao game! Might as well be Ariel to finish off Resurrect. Let's go! Miracle! They chose the map, they had Cho'Gao.
Tempest is like a little bit flabbergasted at the moment. So where's the percentage-based damage going to come through here is the big question.
Just the Tychus, I think they can just switch gear.
With Ballsta on the other side, I think this ends up being like super awkward. I think it has to be Tychus, but that's not really a favored pick for this squad.
And even Martel against Sonya is not too bad in the solo lane. Maybe we will actually see that match.
They've actually played 0 games of Tychus since Phase 2. Not played him a single time.
It's mostly, I see the entire strat of KR. It has been mostly like 95% plus ballistics only.
Yeah, to SDE favorite pick. Hanzo, will be the answering secondary DPS here, and the solo laner will be Leoric.
Yeah,
or
post
Spectral
16,
Leads.
Hanzo actually does percent damage as well.
Yeah.
The scatter.
There's the Ariel. The Spectral Leech, post 20, is going to be pretty good as well. Well, we got the Cho'Gall. I did not expect this. When I looked at and saw the Nubarog ban, I was like, well, you know, I might have considered the Rhaegar here. Cho'Gall. First time writing this draft down since
late
honestly,
2017,
Blossom,
I think.
Yeah, Blossom played it against MVP Black. Wow, what a draft. Okay, tell your friends. Cho'Gall is played in Korea. Tempest is smiling, so I don't think they feel worried or shocked by this pick. I'm guessing it's going to be... Honestly, I don't want to guess. I'm guessing it's going to be Nacho Jin on Cho. Not just because he has Cho in his name.
So,
Frankel on
Nako?
Gall?
Nako? We'll see.
Yeah, it should be Knuckle. But it's not going to be because it's going to be like MRC.
The Fallen and Guardian.
We'll see in a second because we're going to get the hero screens. I'm guessing Sniper's on Falstad still. No. Sniper is going to be on Gall. Judy will be on Cho. Natrojin. Oh, that makes sense. Of course, Natrojin's on the Sonya.
So that's a mister. Okay.
All right. Well, it is going to be a flex for Natrojin, or sorry, not for Natrojin, for Frankel on the Falstad. Kind of a rare pick. You see that all too often.
So how does Tempest actually handle this? They have their percent damage, and that's early on with Leoric.
Yeah. Leoric has a lot of different ways he can just absolutely wreck in terms of this this matchup. At post 20, he's going to be like insanely strong. And so as you can see, he's already shoving Cho'Gall down to less than half health. They have a ton of poke as well. Cho'Gall's, one of the cool things about Cho'Gall is Gall doesn't operate on mana. He operates on cooldowns, and because he's so tanky with Gall obviously serving as his body, he's got a lot of poke potential. He can bully a lane, but if he gets bad lane matchups like this, of course Ariel wasn't here for a little while, just now joining, he dies, like, and he gets burned down, and he becomes irrelevant. He wants to be, if he can be in a 2v2 or a 1v1 lane, obviously where he's more of a 2v1. But I feel like this strategy is as old as time, and it's so figured out by now that Tempest was easily just able to lock in the Hanzo Leoric and say, like, okay, so like that was kind of cute, but not viable, you know. Let's see how it works on the shrines. Obviously, it's going to get real crazy. That's what he's going to have his most success, where he's going to be able to build insane amounts of hope while also destroying the defenders. Good zone control. Say he, I should say they. It's just weird to cast Cho'Gall, I don't know.
And it's actually it's pretty easy to get all the stacks with the scatter. Cho'Gall's pretty big for the hitbox. You can get all the stack, and early game you don't really do too much damage, as even though they were focusing well enough to actually do damage to Cho'Gall. Almost getting low. And early game you do damage with the drain out percent damage, which is not as much. It's early game, but late game, post 16, with Hanzo's Giant Slayer, you can actually do tons of percent damage, basic attack and scatter arrow as well. So I think Tempest actually is not too bad acting against Cho'Gall pick here.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I wonder though, I don't want to say it, but like, is Resurrect viable here?
Maybe they have Falstad because of that, to buy that amount of time with the Mighty Gust.
Because if you get a Resurrect off, which has been buffed like, I don't know,
20
as
times?
many times as like Tracer's been nerfed, and it's still not viable.
But with Cho'Gall, it is possible.
Yeah,
yes.
you know, like I wonder about that.
You're resting two at the same time.
It's only a half-second channel now on this patch, so let's see how it works out. We're still a ways away from that. Obviously, Good is going to have to be the hero here. He's going to have to position himself well. cut down these defenders. We're very even at the moment. Science positioning really good to threaten.
They actually caught up in numbers with all the skills from Cho'Gao, pushing them out from the zone. Doing some massive damage. Sustain does have the map theory in, so they can actually sustain, but losing in number will be painful. There's a dive from Nitrogen. Sign coming out from the side.
He's in trouble. He's going to get blown up here. He gets taken out. Sign's looking for Frankel. Oreo can't heal 2 targets at once, so they do kind of end up splitting that up a little bit.
It's actually a number fight between the defender 4v4, as Dami will come back soon.
Nitrogen's caught by the stun. Look at that Q coming out from Good. Well placed. And they will steal this away. Close call on the side of Tempest, but they do make it work. Sign the MVP. I mean, to be honest, as well, the play we saw from the Auric by Dami was, it basically allowed them to make this happen because he's tanked for so long, he lived for so long. It would have ideally liked to survive, but he's the Auric, so the trait value is real.
Gets in, they already got it. And toss that after the death, actually used the flight already up there to soak in. Don't want to drop too much. Actually, seems like the sport is going down for the first Punisher. Miracle, they can't really push in, look for their own kill here. Massive trades. I think they had some chances on the Shrine fight. I think they can still totally do it. It's not still out of the question. I think it's how they can actually manage to bring Hanzo in and try to delete him as soon as possible, because they can't really engage unless Frankel has the perfect gust from the backside. It's going to be really hard to catch the Hanzo or the Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm trying to wonder, like, for Cho'Gao, what do you think the heroics are going to be? Does Gust and basically everything that Cho'Gao can do, like no matter what it is, compare well together? You can Gust into a choke point, for example, and then just kind of smash everybody with AoE damage. You know, you can upheaval.
I think upheaval is actually not a bad one to bring everything together.
Like, it depends on how you want to use the Gust. If you want to use it to shove people to choke points, like the Hammer of Twilight could be good for Cho as well. And I think for Gaul, like, we're definitely looking at a Shadow Bolt volley. Twisting Nether is that doesn't really make sense here.
Still on the good. Has a spear, nice lane.
That was another good play by Sign. On this ETC right now looks phenomenal.
The damage from Cho'Gao onto Hyde.
They're out-rotating Cho'Gao. I mean, look at the lanes. Look at the experience.
That's usually what you do, because it is not a 2-lane map where we had the legendary Cho'Gao match from Blossom last year. That was Braxis though. It was only 2-lane map, which you can actually have so much power on. But in this map, 3-lane, when you fight for the Shrine, of course it is possible for you to actually win out. When you have Cho'Gao, you can do massive skill damage to multiple targets to Tempest. But once you're out-rotated like this, and pre-10, you can't really do too much as a Miracle.
Can we just talk about how Cho'Gao has the funniest mount in the game when it carries the horse?
They are the mount. I mean,
yeah.
And somehow they can just run faster with the mount on them. That doesn't really work too logically in my head, but
that's just, I mean, whoever on the dev team thought of that is actually,
well, Asmodan is still on the horse. Right?
Not always, but yeah, usually. It is Hammer coming out for Cho. And actually, they do go for Twisting Nether, so looking for kind of a combo potential with that. You can work those into with Gust. Hanzo holds on to Dragon Strike, potentially, which can work really well in these longer extended fights, and also Rip the Dream of Resurrect. But
okay, just to protect, buy some time. Hammer actually has a passive as well. You do more damage. Oh, the basic attack, I believe.
You know, I'm gonna have to check on that. So I'm a little rusty on my Cho knowledge.
Oh yes, me too. So that's why I said.
Yeah, you're right. 25% increase now.
Okay. Didn't know the exact percent, but that's still a massive one, as Cho'Gao will be picking up the defenders as well. About same in numbers.
Okay, Dami is getting bled out here. He's
willing to die, gets a Dragon Strike!
Look at the zoning here. Good teleports away. Had he had a little bit more healing, might have been able to actually continue to engage. Dami does finally fall
That
here.
combo actually fails. I think they watched a little bit too much of Overwatch League. And they do get the Shrine Miracle with the Cho'Gao. They will actually bring this home for themselves. They were behind. They're catching up now.
Yeah, I don't know about this Dragon Strike. I mean, you know, what I feel strongly about something, everyone knows it. Everyone knows how I used to feel about Extrasa, how I feel about the Tracer recalls that we have visible now. And everyone knows how I feel about Dragon Strike. And how you and I screened about that one, Twitch clip that one time.
And did no damage? Yes.
Yeah. Has Dragon Strike really ever hurt anybody?
It's a
Has
zoning.
it ever really done anything?
It's a really good zoning heroic, I would say. But they do have Entomb. I think that's one of the two they can actually have. Kind of like Graviton Surge altogether. I know all of you Overwatch fans out there, you want to have that massive combo, Graviton Surge, with the Dragon Strike gets 3-4 kills altogether.
Hey, you know, Hanzo was only broken in Heroes of the Storm until recently. He's broken in Overwatch now, too. We got Hanzo's top tier across.
Does that mean we have to do a rework on Hanzo? Even make him better?
The Storm Arrow coming in, you know, it didn't go so well for people who don't like Hanzo in Overwatch, so. Well, they don't get much done with the Punisher. They're catching up on 13. Sign trying to make a play here, not going to be able to do much. Easily healed up by Blue. Who is playing one of his first games of Ariel that I can remember. So, you know, it's been a pretty good performance thus far. Just not really a common hero pick for this guy. And right now, Tempest is kind of out-rotating because Miracle misses a body, even though they have the global. Which is common to false stat Cho'Gall. As common as Cho'Gall comps go, you know. Because false stat's one of the counters to Cho'Gall too. I like what Miracle tried to do in this draft, but I think that Tempest is just out-rotating them. They need to win team fights, not just win the Shrine. They actually need to win, like they need to get multiple kills so that the Immortal can do a lot for them because you know, I mean, they won it last time, but like, what did they accomplish? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still behind in experience. The Cho'Gall is getting chunked out here, getting poked out. He's not able to do that much. He has massive hero damage lead over Hanzo, for example.
After 16, it's going to be very tough, as we already mentioned. % damage from the Auric and Hanzo together will be horrific. For Cho'Gall to actually stay in that shrine, you can't really do that anymore. Once you get caught with the Entomb, that post-16 Tempest will actually get kills onto Cho'Gall. I think they're waiting for that time, and Miracle so far, they're also waiting for the same thing because they can't really do too much in their own rotation with Cho'Gall pick. They only have 4 units to move around in this big map.
Yeah, I mean,
it is still pre-16, so I think they do have another chance.
Sure, it's not over by any means, and like when you look at the experience lead that I'm talking about, it's not that massive. It's not like they're a level behind or 2 levels behind. But let's see how this next Shrine goes. The Punisher is alone, I think, not enough. I think Miracle's going to need to get more done. Stun here on Dami. Frankel flies down. Here's the Entomb. Was the Dragon Strike out? It comes. And it does a decent amount of damage. This is the salvo to follow. As we see Cho'Gall gets caught by the stun.
Blue Beetle has been just keeping that hook.
They need to be careful now, though. They're actually going to try to grab this camp real quick. They practically need the health orb.
Just to buy time and get just to get some battery onto Ariel. And 10 difference in the defender numbers.
There is that top push on the side of Miracle as well that is going to eventually become significant, but they don't get control of the Shrine. They lost too much health earlier. They had to wait for 2 batteries of Ariel Hope in order to heal up, so the Punisher's out. Tempest gets 16 first. And unfortunately, this composition has kind of just been figured out. It's been figured out a long time ago. Had Tempest not been able to pull in the Hanzo or the Auric at the end, or if they didn't have Phoenix, that's got so good at, honestly, just amazing poke with his long-range mode, as well as just auto attacks with all his range. Maybe it's a different story, but like in terms of composition here, Tempest plays this better. They play it well. And we're even in kills. It's only a level lead now that Tempest has, but they've been able to control the objective each and every time.
And even if Cho'Gao didn't die, can sustain a little bit longer. And Sonya actually got the fort and dove all the way into the fort. I think they can just sustain. Instead of for the sustain war, Tempest does win because they have Malperion. Even though Ariel's Hope can actually give a lot when they're gathered up together, but that's exactly the timing that Tempest is actually looking for. Push 20 with the silence on that into it'll be even worse. And Dragon Strike, if you upgrade the Dragon Strike, you can actually have multiple Dragon Strikes in the one Shrine fight. Now, that's post 20, but the Tempest, as the game goes by, I think they have more tools to actually work around with.
Yeah, I mean, like, how does Miracle make this work? They have a few combos they can run with the Twisted Nether, the Hammer, the Gust. But if Tempest is just always poking them down to half health before they can really engage, it doesn't work. They can't really split soak with Falstad very well because they're down a body. So if they do split soak with Falstad, then they get bullied elsewhere. Uh-oh, this is not what they want either. Science just hold the stun. The Entomb comes through. And this is a dead
Nitrogen.
Gust?
He doesn't... Okay.
He might have been able to kill him with salvo. Maybe. But a good reaction there. But they lose the Gust. And look, everyone's half health. They're just getting out poked right now.
It's a tough choice. Though we did see the Giant Slayer from Hanzo. You actually do a good amount of damage. Not percent base wise, but still... A piercing actually does a lot of damage as well, so it is actually not bad to go either way. It seems like Lockdown wants to do more damage now.
We have the build here, the quest talent. Now for Ariel. 16. But, like, it's just passively shrineless. Tempest is just out poking Miracle and just running around the map like it belongs to them. The only time that Cho'Gall has any... the only time they're ever worried about Cho'Gall, the only time Cho'Gall has power is on the Shrine fighting for the Punisher. And yet, Tempest still is able to consistently win the poke war. And it's just... Even conceptually, this comp isn't working. I don't know what they have to do because it's like it's almost a kill-less game.
It's tough. It will be tough even more. But all they're looking for is that one chance. And Tempest actually threw one game against Ballistics on this map and against the Falstad, against the Wind Tunnel. But they have the Wind Tunnel locked in a small point where Cho'Gall will just do some crazy damage, getting multiple kills. At late game, by that time, they will go straight to the key, maybe to the core. You only need one more. There's a Dragon Strike.
Dragon Strike not going to do much here, but there's the Entomb. Watch Cho'Gall's health bar go down. Does go ahead and use his Molten Core. Gets hit by the Salvo. He's going to survive a little bit longer, but Sign zones him out. And the Gust keeps him away. But again, this fight is already lost for Miracle.
Well, the percent damage from Hanzo is pretty painful for Cho'Gall.
It really is. The chunks coming in from his
Beetle
scatter
doing
arrow.
well to sustain to his teammates.
Sign, really good power slide here into the Moss. They want to kill the Sonya. And it's going to be a dead Nacho Jin. Now Dami zoning out Frankel. 20 just around the corner here. Miracle has to make a tough choice. They try to commit to killing the defenders down a member. It's going to be tough. Hyde is the target here, but he gets out. And Dami wants to go for another engage here. Is about to have Entomb in just a few seconds.
Gets Ariel tangled, and they do it 20.
2 seconds to Entomb. And Garrett's him.
Oh, just in the perfect time.
Right when 20 was up.
Was about to go over that Entomb, but got caught. He's pretty big. Need to go on that subway diet, just like the Diablo.
They just got out poked, man. The Phoenix Hans are just crushing them. You know, when people tell stories of the Cho'Gall game we saw in Korea tonight, I think that they will not say that it was a close game. They will not say that Cho'Gall got a lot of value. This is one of those cautionary tale stories about picking the Cho'Gall draft. Well, Dragon Strike comes out. Sprankle's like, no! Gets away.
Pretty. to keep.
It is a pretty mile that goes
I think
across.
also, not just from Hanzo, good positioning, and he was actually trying to lure them into a bad position by Phoenix because he can just warp out. There's not much of a CC for him to actually get caught. Want to see the damage at the end after the game.
Well,
Cho'Gao trying to do what he can at the late game, but Punisher already onto the core.
yeah. Another Dragon Strike. Nitrogen's caught, stunned by the Punisher.
Dragon Strike
killed
kills.
somebody. They killed somebody.
It killed someone.
Recorded. First kill of Dragon Strike in HGC Korea history. That's going to be the core going down. And Tempest will take the 3-0.
I tell you,
Creativity
Cho'Gao,
from Miracle, I guess, you know?
Tell you, Cho'Gao looked cool. And they had a lot prepared. Maybe it could have just been Alex Raza, which was banned to start off the draft from Tempest's side. I think Ariel was a good fit. Cho'Gao never really died, and having the Crystal Ages instead of Resurrect was the right choice. But I never really felt too much value out of Falstad. Maybe they could have Gus from behind, try to line up with Cho'Gao. There were lots of questions for Miracle. It seems like all best of 5 today, they lost all 3. But I think they really have to get a theme together. For the drafting phase, I think they have a good strategy. But for the strategy in-game, the tactics, I don't think it's following too well 100% all the time. Well, while Wolf is trying to figure things out,
all right, we're good.
you're back.
All right, so you can see Sniper actually with 20k more hero damage, well, nearly 20k, maybe about 16k more damage than Lockdown on the Hanzo. Hanzo was just able to do so much chunk damage, so much poke damage. Like his scatter arrows were connecting over and over and over again off the walls. They got poked out. This comp is dated. It was never even really more than just an idea. Like we saw it work a few times back in the day with Cho'Gao's first release. We saw Dignitas run it a few times.